Good morning, IMSA, and welcome to Convocation. I am so pleased to be here with all of you to initiate a new academic year and to offer my welcome on behalf of the Academy. First, I'd like to welcome our sophomores. Where's the class of 2028? Where are you at? Oh. Sophomores, your first year at IMSA is a unique opportunity to create deep and lasting connections. Beyond the classroom, you'll discover the strength and collaborative spirit and the joy of shared experiences. Embrace every chance to engage with your peers, connect with your faculty and staff, and build your IMSA community. These are the bonds that will not only enrich your academic journey, but also form the foundation of lifelong friendships and support networks. Sophomores, as you begin your experience here at IMSA, know that you were chosen to be here and to be a part of this group of esteemed young learners. Next, I'd like to welcome the class of 2027, our juniors. Where are you at, juniors? All right, juniors, as you enter your second year here at IMSA, you've already explored your passions. You've joined clubs, you figured out how to manage your academic workload, and you've built relationships with friends and with staff. My invitation to you, juniors, is to approach this year with immense curiosity. Let curiosity be your compass as you delve into complex subjects, explore new research avenues, and consider your post-IMSA paths. Instead of dwelling on potential difficulties, ask, what if, and how can I? To discover innovative solutions and unexpected strengths. This mindset of exploration will not only guide your academic success, but also deepen your understanding of the world around you and your place within it. And of course, we would not be able to begin the academic year without acknowledging our staff and faculty. Where are our staff and faculty? Let's give them a round of applause. All right. Your faculty and staff have been hard at work preparing for this academic year, and many of you have complimented the new carpet, tested out the focus pods, and a few of you even noticed that the sun is now shining in the solar system located just outside of the old calf. Let's show our faculty and staff our gratitude with a round of applause. Thank you to each and every member of IMSA's faculty and staff for your dedication to our students and to the Academy's mission. And now, last but certainly not least, our seniors, the class of 2026. Where are you at? All right, definitely the most enthusiastic bunch this morning. Welcome back to our seniors, class of 2026. Today, you are beginning the first of many lasts here at IMSA. Your last convocation, your last first day of classes. You now hold a unique position of leadership and experience within our community. As you navigate your pivotal final year here at IMSA, I urge you to let your actions be guided by profound care. Demonstrate care for your IMSA legacy by mentoring younger students, sharing your insights, and embodying the beliefs of our Academy. Extend care to your peers, recognizing the collective journey you've shared and fostering an environment of mutual support. And remember to practice care for yourselves. Cherish these final moments, celebrate your achievements, and prepare for the incredible futures that await you. We look forward to celebrating each milestone with you as you navigate your third and final year here at IMSA. As we step into this new academic year, I'm reminded of why this day is one of my favorites. It's not just about a fresh start. It's about being here together as a united community, filled with energy and purpose and endless potential. I can't wait to see what we'll accomplish and celebrate together in the months ahead. Thank you for the distinct honor of introducing this very special event, And once again, welcome back. And now, please join me in welcoming to the podium your Student Council President, Mr. Blake Hennings.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to invite you all to please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may now be seated. Welcome, faculty, staff, honored guests, and students. It is my honor to introduce all of you to the 2025-2026 academic year. I can thank IMSA for many opportunities and experiences, whether it be the excellent faculty who have fueled my curiosity and passion for learning, the extracurriculars I have poured my heart and Celsius packets into, or the friendly community that I have had the privilege of living in for the past 2 years. I am sure many of you can relate to finding each of these and more during your time here and have had IMSA impact your life in some sense. One thing that IMSA influenced in my life is my music taste. When I first walked through door 1, you can be certain that I was listening to Taylor Swift. I had over 100,000 minutes listening to her that year. That's the same as listening to her for 70 days straight without stopping to eat, drink, rest, or even sleep. Now, whether it was the inquiry-based learning mindset that the school puts into your brain, or the fact that everyone had been practically begging me to listen to somebody else after seeing my Spotify Wrapped post, I needed to see what else there was. As I traversed through the second semester of sophomore year, I started listening to artists like SZA, Kali Uchis, and other artists. But it wasn't until junior year that I fully let go of Taylor. There's only one artist and one album with the ability to change the course of my listening habits entirely. And that album was none other than Beyoncé's 2022 hit, Renaissance. Other than being one of the greatest albums of all time, it calls to mind its name. Translated directly from French to English, Renaissance means rebirth. And the way I see it, IMSA is a journey that changes who you are, a rebirth of sorts as you experience it. So far, in my journey towards rebirth, the biggest lesson that I have learned, and one I wish to pass on to all of you, is the importance of focusing on yourself and not letting others get under your skin. As a sophomore, I was warned many times about imposter syndrome by staff, faculty, and even my upperclassmen. I was able to avoid it for 1 year, but I couldn't quite outrun it forever. Going through classes, spending hours in meetings, and then coming back to the mountain of homework I had awaiting me was exhausting. But that exhaustion doesn't hold a candle to the demoralization I experienced when I saw practically everyone else in my life do even more without breaking a sweat. I questioned my abilities, and I wondered if I actually deserved to be here. If I can't even write just one more essay or study for just one more test, then am I really of the same caliber as an IMSA student? Am I really on the same level as those who went off to invent YouTube or create PayPal, the people that created some of the most used services today? These questions overtook my mind. It was once viewed in my eyes as healthy competition, quickly turned sour and sucked all of the motivation that I had left. Throughout the motivational desert that was junior year, there was a song from the Renaissance album that made me come to a realization and gave me water. And that song was Church Girl. The song talks about finding love for yourself and not letting others' lives affect you, because nobody can judge me but me. After listening to the song probably hundreds of times each month, I finally realized what that meant. Everyone has such vastly different journeys. It's not only harmful to compare yourself to others, but often it's unfair. I realized that relying on such toxic methods for motivation has its price. So I say, motivate yourself because you want to be better for you, not to be better than someone else. For the past 2 years, I have seen these individual renaissances occur in everyone else I have seen on this campus. But what I think is far more beautiful is the future our improved rebirth selves can construct. The Renaissance era was an era of artistic and scientific revolution led by some of the greatest minds in history. In the future, and even now, I see the students in this gym leading a new renaissance. Now, you may think this is a stretch, but really think about it. We have a plethora of future engineers who have gone on to attend international level robotics competitions whose skills will rival even that of Leonardo da Vinci. We have over 200 students participating in research who will find scientific discoveries that will push the already vast bounds of human knowledge. We have students who use their talents to advocate for human rights and social change, who even went on to have conferences with the United Nations. These skills on their own are all impressive, beyond impressive. But what really fuels them is the heated passion that drives those talents towards success. The type of passion that you can only find in an IMSA student. All of this is to say that IMSA students could easily lead a renaissance of their own. I mean, after all, the Renaissance is kind of one of the best known examples of advancing the human condition. Though the future is promising for everyone here, these talents can be used to pursue a change in the place we live in right now. I challenge all of you to participate in this campus-wide renaissance, the campus-wide renaissance to bring back weird IMSA. Let's be real. This school is a culmination of Illinois' biggest nerds. Who has the time or the energy to be embarrassed here? What other high school has ever had monthly bagel parties where students willingly get up at 5 in the morning? Sleepovers where the only purpose of getting together is to do work? Or has the biggest form of competitions be literal dance battles that look like they could have been taken straight out of High School Musical? If the only thing stopping you from doing something is because you think it's too embarrassing, just do it. Join that dance you wanted to do but are too worried because you think you're a bad dancer. Apply for that opportunity you don't think you stand a chance at because you don't think you're good enough. Go talk to that person you had a friend crush on for months. Take that class even though it might stop you from being the perfect student. Stop limiting yourself. Because each of these moments will grow you as a person and get you one step closer to your own renaissance. Let yourself make mistakes and let yourself grow. Because when we all grow together, we can paint a future even more gorgeous than the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. So, to the class of 2028, our sophomores, welcome to your home away from home. This marks the start of your self-reinvention, and you have so much to experience. Do not be afraid to take risks. The more things you try, the more you will find out about yourself. Discovering yourself, though, is no easy task. So make sure you seek support from your classmates, but also those with a little more experience, like the many members of staff and faculty, or even your upperclassmen. I promise that you all will succeed on your journey. Class of 2027, our juniors, welcome back. You have had a whole year on this campus to explore your interests, meet new people. But remember, you still have 2 years left. And this one is no joke. Through your many lock-in sessions, exams, extracurriculars, and everything else you are subjected to this year, this will be the biggest challenge you have had to face yet. And it will truly test you, but it will also allow you to grow. Take this challenge and march forward. Learn your limits and become a new, better person because of it, as I am sure that each of you will. And lastly, to my dear classmates, class of 2026, we've almost done it. We have spent 2 years on this campus and learned a lot, not only about ourselves, but about each other. We have taken the time to find our passions and act on them, each of us starting to carve out our own pathways in life. So the one thing I want us to do this year, aside from meeting the November 1st deadline, is to make this campus feel alive. We have the experience and the connections. Now we just need to get together and make this place the most enjoyable experience of our lives. It's up to us now. And if you ask me, I really do think we can do it. IMSA sets each of us on our own paths to renaissance, some moving faster and some moving slower. But one thing that we each have in common is the fact that we are in this journey together. Whether it be anxiously running up to grab your ModPhys test from the giant pile of papers, or be working late into the hours of night doing work to help your community, each of these tiny moments accumulate to become the person that we are when we leave, our reinvented or rebirthed selves. Now, whether you are just starting this new path or finally closing it out, this year is going to be a new chapter in your story. So as you traverse it, take risks, meet new people, and above all, learn. When you look back on this moment and barely recognize yourself, that is the magic of the IMSA experience. I cannot wait to see the new versions of each one of you that emerges at the end of the year. Because this is our renaissance. We have been gifted the environment and the tools to make change. Now it is just up to us to pursue the changes we want to see in the world, in our communities, but most importantly, in ourselves. Thank you. Now, if you all could please join me in welcoming IMSA President, Dr. Evan Glazer, to the stage.
Thank you, Blake. As I listen to your remarks, I can assure you I am proud to be a nerd, and I can attest I am a bad dancer. But there's nowhere I'd rather be than at IMSA each and every day. So I really valued those remarks. Let's give them another round of applause. Welcome back. It is so wonderful to see all of you looking incredibly sharp, setting a positive tone for this upcoming year ahead. I know you will do, Blake, I know you'll do a great job representing the student body as a student council president. I am so thrilled to welcome you to our opening ceremonies. There's something truly special about the start of a new school year. It's a time when you feel refreshed, a chance to reconnect with IMSA you know, and also begin building new friendships with our classmates in the class of 2028. Our alumni often share that the memories they made and the people they have met at IMSA have stayed with them for life. So take a moment to really value this time we have together as a community. Embrace the passion and shared commitment that makes this community so remarkable. I want to recognize some important public officials in the audience who are important to IMSA. We have State Representative Maura Hirschauer, who serves the 49th District, which includes neighboring cities like Batavia, West Chicago, and South Elgin. She is also the parent of an IMSA junior. We also have Sabrina Aguirre, the Outreach Director for State Representative Barbara Hernandez from the 50th District here in Aurora. From our Board of Trustees, Dr. Susan Corwith, who is the Director of the Center for Talent Development at Northwestern University. These leaders and many more support IMSA to ensure our continued innovation. I'm deeply grateful for their leadership and commitment to this institution. They believe in your potential to make meaningful contributions to STEM, whether by curing disease, inventing, improving the environment, creating jobs, or serving the public. Their support reflects a shared belief that you can help build a better world and improve lives across Illinois. Also here with us today, we have a whole section of distinguished ambassadors, emeriti, and former IMSA colleagues to celebrate with us. These former IMSA faculty and staff have created the legacy and foundation for a remarkable experience at IMSA, some from the original onset 40 years ago. And as retirees have visited because they believe in the promise of an IMSA education, and they fundamentally believe in all of you, our students, and what you're capable of doing in your futures. I'd like to ask that all of our former colleagues rise to be recognized. Now, I know that you likely came because you noticed that our keynote speaker is one of your former students. But I have to say, we still have a few vacancies. So just in case you want to dust off some of your old lesson plans or re-engage in a new way, there's still opportunity for you at IMSA. I also want to introduce and recognize numerous alumni who are present to celebrate this occasion. Let's have them rise to be recognized. The alumni here serve as leaders of our various alumni groups, affinity groups, helping graduates stay connected long after their time on campus. These alumni give back in countless ways as mentors, donors, speakers, advisors, and even as teachers, continuing to shape the IMSA community and inspire the next generation. I would also like to take a moment to express my gratitude to the people at IMSA that have prepared for your arrival so that you can have a great experience this year. I'd like to thank our facilities team for improving the building and residence halls over the summer, our technology team to make sure your accounts and tech services are ready, our security team for keeping everyone safe, our business team for ordering necessary supplies, our HR team for hiring great RCs, faculty, and other staff, our admissions team for bringing you to IMSA, our public affairs team for sharing IMSA news over the summer and engaging our alumni, our academic team, including the faculty and principal's office, for preparing their courses and support systems, our SIR and INTU teams for preparing our symposium today, our development team for raising funds to enhance your experience, our advocates for opening their time and their hearts to help you, and our student affairs team for welcoming our students and preparing great community building experiences in the week ahead. Let's give them all a big round of applause. To our class of 2028, our newcomers, welcome to a community that will change your life. You likely came here to pursue opportunities that are not available in your home community and to meet curious students who have questions that are really ambitious. I thank you for taking that leap of faith that your IMSA experience will be nothing like you've ever experienced, and I promise that this will be life-changing for you. It will also be enduring because you'll face new challenges, both academically and socially, and along the way, you should expect to make mistakes. And at those times is when some of your best learning will occur. We don't expect you to be the smartest. We don't expect you to be perfect. But we do expect you to seek to constantly get better. To our returning students, I encourage you, welcome our new students with open arms and help them find their footing. Think back to your own first day, those nerves, the questions, the uncertainty about fitting in. A friendly face or a helpful tip can make all of the difference. Whether it's how to prepare for a tough test, where to find writing support, how to ask for an extension, or simply where to grab a good bite to eat, or what to do on the weekend, your guidance matters. And remember, many newcomers won't ask for help, even when they need it. They may not know who to turn to or feel too shy to speak up. So take the initiative, step up, reach out, and be the friend they didn't know they needed. They're looking to you as upperclassmen, whether they say it or not, and your support is deeply appreciated. As we begin this academic year, I want to offer one simple piece of advice. Take the scenic route. At IMSA, you will have countless choices: what classes to take, what clubs to join, who to hang out with, how to balance work and life. These choices will be deeply personal to you. And with so much happening around you, at times it will feel overwhelming, like being a kid in a candy store. everything looks exciting. Everyone seems to be doing everything. And before you know it, you start to feel like you should be doing more too. But let me be clear. This isn't a race. It's not about who stacks the resume the highest or who has the busiest schedule. What really matters is that you feel lit up by what you're doing, that you're growing, learning, and staying grounded. What often gets in the way? It's that pressure to measure up, that voice telling you to add just one more thing, that temptation to say yes to everything because everyone else is doing it. Here's the truth. Without boundaries, that excitement can quickly turn into exhaustion. Actually, growing up, a measure of growing up is recognizing your limitations. You see, overcommitting doesn't just affect your calendar, it can lead to real conflicts, ethical ones, social ones, mental ones. You might find yourself sacrificing sleep, values, or even your well-being. Like that kid in the candy store, if you try to sample everything without restraint, you'll end up sick to your stomach. And I'd much rather see you healthy, whether that's mentally, physically, emotionally, and academically. Taking the scenic route means slowing down, being intentional. It means choosing fewer things, but doing them well. It's about depth, not just breadth. It's about following your curiosity, not chasing someone else's checklist. And yes, the scenic route takes time. No shortcuts. But with every twist and turn, with every challenge you lean into instead of rush past, you'll become a more thoughtful, creative, and ethical person. That's who we believe you are and who we believe you're becoming. Because this journey isn't just about you. You're here on behalf of the families who believe in you and the people of Illinois who've invested in you. We believe you'll take what you learn here and go on to solve problems that don't have easy answers, to truly advance the human condition. So while the fast lane might look appealing, I promise you, the scenic route will serve you better. Take it, enjoy it, and trust it's leading you somewhere meaningful. With this in mind, I wish you a wonderful launch to the school year. I look forward to learning about your summer projects at our upcoming summer symposium. I look forward to getting to know you more, learning more about what makes IMSA meaningful to you and the aspirations you have to make the Academy a better place for learning and growing. Thank you so much. And next up, we have Roy Wang, who will provide a musical selection.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Roy. And of note, Roy performed this summer at Carnegie Hall on both the clarinet and piano. So very talented musician as well as academic. Congratulations. It is with great honor I introduce to you our keynote speaker, excuse me, Dr. Keith Winstein. Dr. Keith Winstein is a class of 1999 graduate, currently an associate professor of computer science, and out of the courtesy of his heart, also in electrical engineering at Stanford University. A long career in a variety of fields. His current work is with a research group creating new kinds of network systems and rethinking abstractions around communication, compression, and computing. There's lots more I'm sure he will share with you, so please welcome Dr. Keith Winstein.
When I graduated from IMSA, I was proud to get out of here. I'm a little intimidated so many of my former teachers are here, because I bet you didn't expect me to graduate. I didn't either. My parents certainly didn't expect me to get out of here. The right people are laughing. I'm right, if you can find me, I'm right there. And I went to MIT, which was an intimidating place. I thought IMSA had prepared me for college, and it did. It really did. I learned a lot here. I'll talk about that. But I showed up at this college, and it was totally different, and I was intimidated. And these kids at college were so smart, and I didn't know how I could catch up to them. And I called my friends from high school. I called Don Schmidt, class of 97, and Gene Skinicki, class of 97, people I respected, people I looked up to, and I said, I'm scared here. I'm not sure this is for me. And Don, my friend, said something that really stuck with me. He said, you should latch on to those people. Latch on to the people that you're scared of and suck their brains. That's what Don Schmidt, class of 97, told me, and that was good advice. That's maybe, you could probably go home now. That's the best thing I've ever heard. It was very good advice. At IMSA, I had a very tough time. I wanted to show you more of my report cards. I went and looked them up, and that was like the most depressing thing I'd done in the 26 years since I graduated. This one I'm willing to show you. This is my Res Life report. Do they still have those? Yeah, they still write the narrative? Where's the RCs? You still write these narratives? All right, thank you, RCs, for writing nice things about me. This was just after IMSA. IMSA sent me to Europe with the founder of the school, Leon Letterman. You can see I used to look young. So I felt good, but the best advice I probably got was the advice I got from my upperclassmen here, which was, don't worry about trying to catch up to people that are your own size, because those people don't matter. There's a big world out there, and if you can identify heroes, people you look up to, people that you can use an example and try and live up to that example, that was the best advice I ever got. So now I'm a teacher, and many of the students I meet are worried about catching up with someone. So I wanted to share with you what I think I really learned at IMSA. This is the beginning of IMSA's 40th year, which is amazing. I was in IMSA's 11th year. And I think people then weren't sure how long the school would last. I'm not sure people then knew the school would last to 40. Marty, did you think we'd last to 40? Amazes her, yes. It wasn't clear it would last this long. This is IMSA's 40th year. The teachers here, I had a tough time here, but looking back, the teachers here are saints. It's amazing. The teachers here really wanted us to succeed, and that is a privilege that you don't recognize until later, that the teachers want you to succeed. I don't know if it feels that way when you're there. It didn't always feel that way to me when I was here, but in retrospect, it was obvious. The teachers had cults of personalities. Does this still exist? Yes? What, you're saying yes? Which teacher has a cult of personality, sir? All right, that's okay. The teachers in my day used to have their own way of speaking. You could tell what part of the building, and they had these different accents, and they would say, there's a teacher here, Dr. Regalis. She's not here anymore, but Dr. Regalis, Mr. DeHay. They would speak in this very affected way, the cult of personality of the teachers. This was a unique place. It was an isolated place. There was no Facebook. We had just gotten the internet. So we were just like isolated here in the soybean fields. Well, there's not really soybean fields anymore. Now it just says Magic Woods. It's not an actual, it's just like a building. But we used to be like totally alone here in the cornfields. So I want to talk about what IMSA actually taught me. The first big thing IMSA taught me is the most valuable thing you can do is put yourself in a position where you might fail. You want to set yourself up to let your friends down. You want to embark on something that matters. Now, some of you are better than me. Some of you are externally motivated. Who here is motivated by some people telling you what to do? Some of you. So you could go home, that's okay. But I was not. I found that to really learn, I had to put myself in a situation where I was maybe gonna fail. I had promised my friends something. I'm gonna do this, I promise. And I'd then like stay up all night trying to do it, and I would fail. And I'd have to show up in the morning and face my friends and be like, I lied. Like I didn't get this thing done. This project we were doing together, I didn't do it. And that's like humiliating, but it's very motivating because you don't want that to happen. We used to do all kinds of crazy things that would be things that we would owe to one another, not things that we would owe to the external world. We used to run this junior high math contest. You still do that? Yeah. We used to run this junior high math contest, and we would stay up very late writing those questions for those poor 7th and 8th graders who had to do them. And we would like to make fun of IMSA in those questions. Do they still talk about ethical leadership here? There used to be a lot of jargon, so we would give the students questions like this, just to like make fun of IMSA in the questions. We used to do things like this, just to have like, I don't know, some spirit. That was our experience. And we used to run the computer system here. That may sound hard to believe, but back in the 90s, the internet was like this crazy thing that most people weren't using. And so it was students that put IMSA on the internet. It was students that ran the computers and ran the network, the internet part of IMSA, students that ran the email and the web server and the PCs in the dorms and all that stuff. Students used to run that. And we would screw it up. Because we were not professionals, and actually Mr. Wicks there, where is he? He's somewhere. He used to very patiently be the supervisor of all these students who were running the computer system. And can you imagine the situation that the administrators were in when we would screw it up and the teachers couldn't get to their email? And they would be like, I need to use my email. And the school would have to say, well, sorry, you know, some juniors screwed it up. But it's a learning experience, you know. We put him in a position to fail, and you know, he did. That's part of learning. Then we'd have to stay up late fixing it. And we used to get to choose the students that would run the email system the next year. And I fell in love with the person that ran the email system. Well, not initially. She was running the email system, and her friends were like, Keith is gonna ask you out, because I would run the server that the email system was on. And they're like, he's gonna call you, and he's gonna ask you out. And then I did call her, and I just asked her questions about the email system. And she was very confused. She's like, she went back to her friends, that's not what you said was gonna happen at all. It took some prodding, but eventually. So the things I really learned from IMSA were all situations where I was in a situation that I could fail. They were situations where I owed something to my friends, and I really didn't want to let them down. We deleted the database once with everyone's records in it. We had to recover from that. That was the thing. We used to have a project in the library to try and give everyone free music. We figured out how to do it, to take the CDs from the library. This is before Spotify. To give everyone free music, you didn't have to come to the library. And I didn't succeed in that project at IMSA, but I kept working on it, and I ended up doing it in college. I did it for my master's degree. We called it the Library Access to Music Project, and eventually we did it, and I got to be on TV for doing it. This is a high school project. I'll show you a little clip here. Here's what it's like when you finally stop failing, and it actually works. Let's see if we can get this to go here.
Up next, it's free.
This is me from
legal,
like 24 years ago.
A couple of those brains on the MIT campus have come up with a way to give students instant access to a huge library of music. We'll find out how the system works when we come back on Open Exchange.
Just skip ahead here.
A new wrinkle in the ongoing battle over music file sharing. Two MIT students have come up with a campus-wide system now that lets users listen to and record music legally. It's called the Library Access to Music Project, or LAMP. Their system entirely bypasses the web, the internet, and distributes music over MIT's own cable television system. And it could be a template for what could be the way for you to get such free music in the future. Here to help us understand why this is such a big development, one of the inventors, Ken Winstein. He's at MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Did I pronounce your name right there, Ken?
It's Keith, Tyler.
Keith, I'm sorry, Keith, excuse me, Keith. Welcome and good to see you.
Hi.
All right.
So that was my IMSA project. Eventually I got on, they didn't even use the right name. But what I want to impress upon you is that this school was built by crazy people who put themselves at risk of failure, okay? This school was built by true believers, by people that believed that educating you would make a positive difference, not just for you, but for the world. They believed that educating you, giving you this uniquely interesting and challenging education, and high quality education, would be good, not for you, you're not the point, for the world. And that education was broken in this country, and that by having this school to figure out how to do it better, that would be good for the world. Those people were true believers who built that school, okay? Some of the people who went to the school, who are the best people who believed it, are people I got to meet. Scott Swanson, class of 1990. Mel Chua, class of 2003. These people believed sincerely that educating you would be good for the world, and that education in this country could be improved by the work that is being done here. They truly believe that. Scott Swanson actually came back to work at this school. He was a leader in educational technology. Mel Chua was a leader in educational technology. Both of them sadly passed away too young of horrible diseases. But they are the legacy of this school, the true believers behind this school. I wonder, how much do you believe that? Do we share the same fidelity of belief of these, our best alumni, that educating you will be good for the world? I'm not talking about educating you so you can get into a better college. I'm saying educating you will be good for the world, and that education can be improved. Do we believe that? You just tell grown-ups what they want to hear. I don't trust you, but I hope you believe it. Someone else who believed that, I had to put her on a different slide because she's still in great health, is the founding executive director of this. You can't really put dead people and alive people on the same slide. Anyway, the founding executive director of this school, Stephanie Pace Marshall, she believed that. She was a true visionary. And I think these people did exactly what I'm talking about. They put themselves at the risk of failure. I don't think IMSA has revolutionized education in the world yet. I think it's helped. But I think we have to say that the mission of this school is still aspirational, still remains to be accomplished. And that's very exciting, because these are the people that put themselves out there. And these are the only people that get stuff done. This is a famous quotation from George Bernard Shaw. The reasonable person adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable person. How many of you are willing to be unreasonable? Okay, like 5% of you. Okay. There are a lot of unreasonable people who went through IMSA. IMSA is great at producing unreasonable people. IMSA alumni produced or contributed to the first graphical web browser. So if you ever use Safari or Chrome or Internet Explorer, that came from IMSA alumni, or the first web server. That came from IMSA alumni. PayPal came from our IMSA people. YouTube came from IMSA people. And the big star on YouTube, he also went to IMSA. Gravitational spin memory came from IMSA people. The legal education system Bhutan came from IMSA people. The fastest Fourier transform, you'll have to ask the math teachers what that is, but the fast Fourier transform is one of the most important algorithms and discoveries of the 20th century, and the fastest one was created by an IMSA alumnus. One IMSA alumnus has discovered more than 50 planets. And Yogesh Raut from IMSA just won the 2025 Jeopardy Master Tournament. And IMSA just won the statewide Super Smash Bros. Tournament. So, congratulations. So there are a lot of unreasonable IMSA alumni who take this maxim of putting themselves out there and being willing to fail. But that's what IMSA really taught me. At least for me to learn, I had to actually fail. I had to face my friends and be like, I didn't do it. Okay, number 2. To advance the human condition, you can't just be smarter. Because usually being smarter just means you're a little bit just means you're a little bit earlier in saying something someone else was going to say. But if you have a different perspective, if you have a point of view that makes you different, that lets you have a different idea for what is an interesting problem or important problem to solve, or a different way to solve an existing problem, that's usually how the important discoveries get made. Not just by being smarter, but by having a different perspective. You, what's your name?
Nathan.
Nathan, you can become the IMSA expert on something that you care about. You have to care about it, Nathan. But you can become, is there something you care about that you think you're already the IMSA expert on?
I'm really interested in robotics.
That's maybe broad to be the IMSA expert. I mean, good for you know, good luck. But if you draw the boundaries narrow enough, or if you care enough, any of you can become the IMSA expert on something that you care about. The world is full of unsolved mysteries. I think when you take these math and science classes and the teachers are so smart and everything, you think that math and science are about things that have been discovered already, that the teachers are imparting to you. Does it seem that way? Like, oh, there's you know, I have to memorize all this stuff. That's not really what it is. Science and math are mostly about figuring out things we don't know yet. It's mostly about the frontier. Now, you might learn the foundation here, but it's mostly about the frontier. And the world is full of these mysteries. To make progress, you really have to have knowledge, which you get here, and some sort of different perspective. You want something that makes you different. How do you become different? Do you feel different? You in the red. You're clearly different because you're red. That's why I picked you out. But how do you become different? Innovation usually doesn't come from the famous places. It doesn't come from where I work, from Stanford. It doesn't come from where I went to school, from MIT. It usually comes from people in the middle of nowhere, not where it's supposed to. The airplane came from 2 bike mechanics in Ohio, right? Innovation usually comes from weird places, and the mysteries that are unsolved are everywhere. Let me give you an example of a mystery. This is a famous one. Let's start with any positive number. How many of you know this? Okay, start with any positive number. Great. If it's even, we divide it by 2. Okay. If it's odd, we triple it and add 1. Let's see what happens if you do this over and over. Let's say we take 3. What's the next number, everybody? You're like, oh, the Convocation speaker is not supposed to do math. What's the next number? 10. Okay, let's see if we can do this. 10. Then what? 5. Okay, then what? Oh, 16, it's going up again. Then what? Okay, then what? Okay, then what? Unsolved problem. Okay, 2. Okay, then what? 4. Okay, so now, then what? Oh, okay, it's looping back around. Do you think every number ends up in this loop? Someone says no, someone says yes. This is an unsolved mystery. This problem was stated in the 1930s, and nobody knows the answer. The smartest people in the world have tried to solve it, and no one has been able to. No one knows if every number goes to 1 or not. We know that if they're going to loop around and not hit 1, they got to loop around at least 92 times. Can't be less than that, but it could be more than that. Nobody knows the answer to these simple questions. There's so many mysteries in the world that you are going to have to solve. Because my generation's already tried, and we failed. We had to look our friends in the eye. I have to look people from my high school in the eye and say, we failed. On behalf of the class of 1999, we failed. It's going to be you. Here's a mystery. So I went to MIT, I did my master's at MIT, finishing my IMSA project. I started a PhD at MIT, and then I dropped out. I was not a successful PhD student the first time. And I went to be a newspaper reporter at the Wall Street Journal. And my best story was about a secret plot by the United States government to make every minute last exactly 60 seconds. Because they don't. The length of the second is set based on how fast the Earth was spinning in the 1800s. That's when the Earth's speed was measured. But the moon keeps slowing us down. The moon creates tides in the ocean, and every time the high tide of the Atlantic Ocean slams into the east coast of America, it slows down the Earth just a little bit. It also creates tides in the land. Did you know that? Did you know that this spot right here, Aurora, Illinois, moves up and down by a meter every like 12 hours? You don't notice it because all of Aurora is moving up and down. But the moon also creates tides in the land. And they're not the same time as the tides in the water. It's crazy. Okay, so the United States proposed, okay, so what happens is the day now takes longer than 24 hours. But it's hard to predict. So every so often there's a guy in France, Monsieur Daniel Gombi, who decides that we have to add in an extra second to all of our clocks to keep them in sync with the rising and setting of the sun. So he sends out an email to all the world governments saying, we got to add in an extra second at the end of June. And my big scoop was that the United States proposed to fire this guy and end putting in these extra seconds and let the sun rise and set at any time and not be tied to our clocks. So I got this great story, and this got me a job at the Wall Street Journal. But then, okay, you can see here, the Earth has been slowing down over the years, because the moon keeps sucking away our energy, the dastardly moon. But then, after I wrote this article, it reversed. Why? Why did the Earth speed up again and make my article wrong? Yes, you have the answer? Sure, yeah, why? Why did the Earth speed up? What's your name? Ryan knows the answer. Yes, why?
I read that with melting ice caps, as the Earth becomes more spherical because the weight of them pushes down on the poles, as it becomes more spherical, it's similar to a ballerina putting their arms inward, making them spin faster. That's just what I read.
I'm not sure you're right. But it's a plausible guess. I think this is actually an open mystery, and I'm not sure. I don't know. Your generation will have to solve this. We don't know why. When I was at the Wall Street Journal, I wrote an article about p-values. There was a company that was trying to get a heart stent on the market. This is something, if you get a blockage in your heart, they can go in through your veins and they can pump open a balloon and reinflate your arteries, leave a little stent behind. And a company was trying to get their stent on the market, and they did a statistical test that showed that their new stent was a good stent. And I did some math, and I concluded that they had made a miscalculation. And my boss was skeptical that the Wall Street Journal could call into question, a medical study that was done by professional biostatisticians. And so I prepared, using my IMSA knowledge, in fact, Dr. Condi's multivariate calculus, and I prepared a little manuscript to explain why I thought they had done the math wrong, and I had this in it. And I gave it to my boss. Being at the Wall Street Journal was a very intellectually stimulating environment. It was really helpful. If any of you think of going to journalism, it was very intellectually stimulating. And he said, okay, let me take a look at this. And he said, this is the editor. He said, okay, I think I understand everything here. So I think I believe you. I just need you to explain to me one thing in this. What is the big S? And so I had to teach my editor calculus. I really needed that in my real life. I had to not just know it, but be able to teach my editor calculus. The stuff I learned at IMSA, I really had to know. I really had to care about it. But I did, and so this story got published in the Wall Street Journal. This is the nerdiest story they've ever published in their whole history. So what's the lesson here? Let's see here. Mysteries are everywhere. Mysteries are everywhere, and you need a different perspective to make progress on them. I was the only IMSA student at the Wall Street Journal. That's why I was able to write that article that no one else was. The different perspective helps. By the way, much later, I ended up consulting for this TV show, the Silicon Valley TV show, and I again needed multivariate calculus because they wanted story ideas for the final season about how an AI could destroy the world. And AI all uses multivariate calculus. It all uses gradient descent. That's the fundamental algorithm behind AI, is gradient descent. And so I worked with the writers for months, and they kept coming back to me, and they wrote this whole monologue about how multivariate calculus was going to do it, and it was this big monologue. And then at the last second, the creator of the show, Mike Judge, who also did many famous TV shows, he cut the whole thing. And then the writer that I was working with begged him to restore it. He's like, no, we worked with these, IMSA guy, and we got to put it back. And so Mike Judge says, okay, I'll put just the last line of this long monologue about calculus. I'll put just the last line. That was all I got in the show. But I had to understand multivariate calculus to do it. Actually, you can see me here in the show. This is me as an extra at the very end of the show where they do this Stanford graduation scene. All right, so what helped me in these things was not being smarter than everyone else, because I definitely wasn't, but it was having a different perspective than everyone else in the room. I want you to become the IMSA expert on something. Pick what it is. What would you choose to learn about if you weren't stressed? If you weren't college maxing? Is that a thing? Yeah, you're snapping, yeah. What if you're gonna be college maxing, what if you college maxed 90% of the time instead of 100? And in 10% of your time, what would you choose to learn about if you weren't stressed about that? Because that will pay huge dividends. People say follow your passion. Don't do that. Passion usually follows the effort. What you put effort into, you will grow a passion and nurse a passion for. Try that. Become the IMSA expert on something that you care about. Okay. But that sort of begs the question, do you actually believe that learning the material is valuable? If you could get A's without learning the material, would you be happy? You're saying yes. I appreciate your honesty. This is a good school where students feel protected. What's your name? No, that's okay. That's okay. When they do these studies, these are professionals that are given the latest high-tech AI, and they say, we're going to let you code, we're going to let you write software with AI. And they ask experts, how much better is it going to be? And the experts say it'll be 40% better. And they ask experts in AI, how much better is it going to be? They also say 40% better. Then they ask the people actually doing it while they're doing it, and they say 25% better. And then they ask them at the end, how much better was it, or how much faster was it after you've done it? They say, oh, I worked 20% faster. And the truth is 20% slower. That's the truth. It is very hard to estimate how well you yourself are actually learning. Even experts get it totally wrong. So I think you want to ask the question, if you're in school, is learning valuable? You're saying yes. She says no. You can have a debate after this. Would you be happy if you just got A's and you didn't learn multivariate calculus? I wouldn't have gotten to be on TV. But think about that. Is the learning valuable? Do you actually want to learn this material? I see disagreement. Talk about that. Do you actually want to learn this stuff? Okay, number 3. This is what I'm going to come back to. So many students worry about catching up to someone their own size. And the people your own size or your own age, they don't matter. You're not competing with the people your own age. You're, in a sense, part of the world. You're part of the soup with everyone. And so it's much more valuable to have role models whose example you can live up to, people that you admire, than to try to catch up to someone your own age. Nobody knows what the future holds. I was meeting with a Stanford student recently, and I was telling him all the crazy stuff, all the cool stuff about IMSA. I said, we used to run the computer system, and we deleted the database, and we used to do the math contest, and I told him all the stuff I was so proud of from high school, which you might notice not the classes, but the stuff I was so proud of from high school. And after this long story about my high school pride, this student, he looks at me, and he just says, all the crazy stuff we do to look good on a college app, am I right? Oh, you're not laughing. That's a bad sign. Whew. I think you should hold that cringe moment, but I'm cringing at you. Just hold that moment. High school will be over soon. This is IMSA's 40th year. It's IMSA's 40th year, but it's only the 39th convocation. Do you know why that is? Stephanie Pace Marshall, the visionary founder of this school, decided after the 1992 convocation that it wasn't working. The students were rowdy, they weren't listening to the speaker. The speaker was some old guy. Students weren't into it. So they canceled the 1993 convocation. And the students protested. You protested. You said, we love convocation. Convocation is a special tradition. It's only at IMSA. College, I didn't have convocation. Most high schools don't have convocation. This is a treasured memory, the students said. We want it back. But we don't want a boring speaker. We want an alumnus. And that was the beginning of the tradition of having the convocation here, not at Fermilab, but with an alumnus. So I'm really here thanks to you. And that's why this is the 39th convocation for the 40th year. Nobody knows what the future holds. And if they say they do, they're lying. There's great uncertainty about the future. We don't know what's going to happen to education. We don't know what's going to happen to AI. We don't know what's going to happen to the country. The best thing we know about is to get an education. And it has to be an education that you want. So, to the sophomores, I wonder how you feel about this. You've all been here like 2 days, and I'm reminiscing about the 3 years I spent here, the formative years of my life, when I fell in love with the woman who ran the email system. And you're all like, old man, what are you talking about? I've been here 36 hours, like, this place is not meaningful to me at all. I hope it becomes as meaningful to you, the sophomores, as it was to me. Embrace your autonomy. This is a remarkable place. Embrace your autonomy. May this place be meaningful to you. Figure out, as best you can, about yourself. What do you want around you to be happy and productive and successful? You were not born with that self-knowledge. No one told you what kind of environment, what kind of working style, what kind of material you need to be happy and productive and successful. You have to figure that out about yourself, and no one else can tell you that. And I wish you luck in figuring that out faster than me. To the juniors, this is the most you will ever care about high school. Embrace that. Drink the marrow of this place. Do everything you can to learn as much as you can. Become the IMSA expert on something you care about. Fail. Put yourself out for failure. Use that caring. Caring breeds passion. Passion breeds learning. Use that caring. And to the seniors, your perspective will change. You're not the same person you were 2 years ago, and you won't be the same person in 5 years. You'll look back on yourself and be like, what the F was I thinking? I promise this will happen to you. I look back on myself at IMSA and I was like, those teachers were saints. How did they put up with me? Make the most of who you are now. You have to figure it out. I was so privileged because the IMSA teachers wanted me to succeed in spite of myself. May you all be similarly blessed. This is me with my roommate 3 days ago. We hung out. I asked him if he had any words for the speech. He's like, no, man, you got this. So we'll see. Oh, yeah. I wanted to show you my actual report card, and I debated this because I don't want you to get the wrong idea. It's not, I just wanted you to know that I was not always happy here, and I turned out okay. So it gets better. These are my actual IMSA grades. So I want to leave you with a message. IMSA taught me to put myself in a position to fail, and I did a lot. I learned a lot from those failures. Cultivate your own perspective on the unsolved mysteries. You can become the IMSA expert on something you care about, and you will learn so much by developing that passion in something you focus in. Try to identify role models whose examples you want to live up to, and try to learn from them. Do we have time? Me up here, so I want to do one final bit of IMSA tradition, which is I want to bring you back to that founding era. You're going to see Scott Swanson, class of '90, who passed away about 20 years after this video was taken. This is a video recorded just after the pioneer class graduated from this school. These are people who really believed that IMSA could change the world, that education could be a positive force for the world, that IMSA could, acting on its students, be a positive force for the world, and that IMSA could change education for the better. I don't think most people in the country like high school. These people believed with a zeal that that could change. And I want to take you back to that founding era. I just want us to live in communion with that era from almost 40 years ago. This belief, and you'll see some commonality with them. Now, not everything about this has aged well if you look it up on the internet later. This belief that we share a commonality with people who really are true believers that learning is valuable. So here we go.
Hi, my name's Steve Blunt. I've been an RC here for 3 years. This is the summer of '89, the summer of love. I'm going to be leaving for graduate school in a couple weeks, and so we thought we'd put together a tape of a song I wrote 2 years ago in 1987 as an expression of many of our experiences living the first year in the building. And Glocky. I'm in a genuine mess. I'm really up a creek. Oh God, please have pity on an IMSA geek. And the rain keeps pouring in my room, and the sky might fall today. I gotta take a test. It will not count for my grade. Find out where I am. Put a number on my name. And if I don't get an A, seems like the world might end today. Come on, guys. IMSA, 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 IMSA. Now it's been over 3 years. I feel a lot like a clone, 'cause somehow this school feels a lot like home. 'Cause life has certainly been unique since I became an IMSA geek.
Everyone.
IMSA, 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 IMSA,
Have a fantastic 40th year, and I'll see you in 40 years for the 80th.
Well, thank you, Keith, for your words, your music. For me as well, there are some memories within that on some of those original risks that IMSA took. For those of you who may not know me, I realize I haven't introduced myself. I am Dr. Angela Raleigh. I am currently serving as our Principal and Chief Academic Officer. Have to share at the same time that many of our alum in the audience, as well as Keith, would know me as Angie King, RC in 1506 from 97 to 02. So some of these memories are real, people. So good morning. I don't really know how you follow that, but welcome to our students, faculty, staff, families, and honored guests. It is the joy and privilege to welcome all of you, whether you're returning to IMSA or stepping onto campus for the first time, to the beginning of our academic year. Each year as we gather for Convocation, we are reminded, as Dr. Winstein, I can't, after that, I'm having all these emotions now. As Dr. Winstein has just shared with us, that IMSA is not just a school, it's a living idea. The idea that began 4 decades ago with a bold question. What if we built a place where the most curious, most creative, and capable young minds could come together to learn, grow, and help shape the future? An idea that leaders in the state of Illinois could create a living laboratory for learning. A place where science, mathematics, the humanities, and the human potential would intersect in extraordinary ways. From its very beginning, IMSA was not meant to serve the status quo. It was meant to transform it. To reference Blake's analogy, to live an educational renaissance. Transformation is not always easy, just like the metamorphosis from a caterpillar to a butterfly, which you will see across campus. Growth can be uncomfortable, even disorienting. There may be moments this year when we question ourselves or feel like the pieces of our identity or my learning does not yet fit together, but they will. You'll learn to see more deeply across disciplines, cultures, and worldviews because transformation requires connection. This leads us to one of the artifacts of IMSA that you'll find in our humanities wing, the IMSA Kaleidoscope. Commissioned by founding president Dr. Stephanie Pace Marshall, the IMSA Kaleidoscope is a demonstration of discovery. Each turn of the kaleidoscope takes the same tiny pieces and rearranges them into something entirely new. It takes the fragments, seemingly broken, chaotic, and through reflection and light, creates a dance of harmony and order. Every turn reveals something new, and every piece matters. And so it is with all of us. We each carry with us our own sets of pieces, our experiences, talents, struggles, and dreams. But what creates transformation is not simply having those pieces, it's turning them, reflecting, connecting, trying again, looking at things from new angles, and letting light in. This is exactly what IMSA expects of you. Not just to master the mathematics or science, but to find harmony between disciplines, to link knowledge to action, to discover meaning and complexity, to embrace both the gift and responsibility that you've accepted as a member of this community. Our belief statements help us guide this journey at IMSA. We believe that all people have intrinsic worth, that belonging to a community requires a commitment to the common good, that diverse perspectives enrich understanding and inspire discovery and creativity, that honesty, trust, and respect are vital for any relationship to thrive, and that learning never ends. These beliefs are not just words, they are a call to action. Here, you are not just students, you are co-creators of our better future, because we believe that no one's path in life is predetermined, that the ability to discern and create connections is the essence of understanding, that we are all students of our planet, stewards of our planet, and that we can significantly improve life on this planet. This is the heart of the IMSA experience, to help you become not only brilliant thinkers, but compassionate stewards. Not only scientists and artists, but fully integrated humans, capable of creating harmony out of dissonance, clarity out of uncertainty, and peace out of complexity. As I look at our world today, we could sure use some of that. This leads us directly to our mission, which is clear and urgent: to ignite and nurture creative, ethical, scientific minds that advance the human condition. Let me share that again, and this time take the moment to let it sink in. To ignite, because there is already fire inside you, waiting for a fuel, waiting to blaze. To nurture, because brilliance needs care, support, and challenge to truly grow. Creative, ethical, scientific minds, because solving problems without ethics is dangerous. And creativity is the bridge between knowledge and impact. That advance the human condition, because ultimately your work, your gifts, your purpose must extend beyond yourself. They must serve something greater. So what does this mean for all of us today at the start of the year? It means that you're not just here to succeed, you are here to become, to transform, to create, to connect, to ask questions that no one has asked before, to imagine solutions no one has thought of, to see beauty in patterns that others may overlook, and to build your wings even when you can't yet see the sky. You are here because you have potential, But more importantly, you are here because the world needs your potential. Ignited, nurtured, and aimed at advancing our human condition. So as we step together into this new academic year, I ask you to carry these 3 reminders with you. Embrace your renaissance, your transformation. The discomfort is part of the growth. Don't resist it, but lean into it. Trust the kaleidoscope. Even when things seem fragmented, there is beauty and coherence waiting to emerge. Live the mission. Don't just chase success and the grade, but chase significance. Ignite your mind, nurture others, advance our human condition. You are now part of a legacy of learners, leaders, and innovators, and your time here will not only shape your future, but the future of countless others. Mr. Winstein, if you would join me, please. As our convocation speaker, part of our legacy, part of advancing the human condition, I ask you to join me because 19 years ago at Convocation, then Principal Dr. Eric McLaren shared with the community a story of a school bell that his grandfather used to use to ring in the school year, beginning in 1918 in Apava, Illinois. The bell was used to call students together in the morning and from recess. His grandfather brought that bell from Apava to his next principal role in Towanda, Illinois. As we represent the entire state of Illinois, Dr. McLaren brought that bell to IMSA so that we could continue the tradition of ringing in the school year. Mr. Winstein, I ask that you join us as our convocation speaker, and please ring in the new year.
Okay, we're gonna do it together, ready? Thank you.
Yours to keep.
Oh my God, oh my God.
IMSA community, welcome to the 25-26 academic year. We will continue our day with a celebration of our student research, followed by an all-community cookout.